Hello, welcome back to Nick Lenz's Movie Reviews, episode number 18. And this is double feature number 5. Okay, first up is possibly the worst film of the entire series. Jason Goes to Hell, otherwise known as Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday. Comes out in 1993, coming out at least 4 years after the previous film came out. 4 years. New Line Cinema picks up the rights, and this film is just bad. It is the worst film of the entire series. Yeah, this thing does show up in the film, and this is how. And one of the major problems with this film is the fact that Jason Voorhees only gets maybe 15 minutes of screen time in the entire film, because most of the film he appears as this snake thing, which I never knew he can do this, and apparently at the beginning of the film, there's this trap set for him by the FBI, and he gets blown up. Oh, and by the way, he looks like this in the whole film. That's what he looks like at the end of the film. It's like, oh, and there's no explanation in the film about his resurrection. But there was a comic that came up before this, which explains resurrection. I, of course, never read it. I'm planning on reading when I get a chance to get my hands on it. Yeah. Excuse me, that was my phone. Oh, if you're a fan of the X-Files, the guy who plays X, he plays a bounty hunter in the film, and he's a very expensive bounty hunter. And apparently they show off Jason's sister, or his half-sister, and his niece. They appear in the film. And this is one guy who is kind of the hero of the film. And the sheriff doesn't want him to go anywhere near his grandson, even though he is the father. And the sheriff, just like in the sixth film, he's a jerk. The only reason why he doesn't want him around his daughter is because he had a criminal record. That is the only reason why. Yeah. And the only thing good about this film is its ending. I'll talk about it in a minute. Yeah, and apparently Crystal Lake, the town, has embraced Jason as this hometown celebrity, and there's Voorhees burgers, stuff like that. Heck, there's even memorabilia of the whole film. I'm like, really? You want to praise the guy who kills people? You make a serial killer, the one who in part 6 he tried to ignore by renaming the place Green Lake, and now with this film it's automatically back to Crystal Lake, and and Kane Hodder himself does show up in the film out of costume. He plays some like SWAT member. He does in a cameo. The ending is the best part of this film. Jason is killed again. He's killed twice in this film. His mask ends at the bottom of the lake, and then you see Freddy Krueger's hand spring up from the bottom of the lake, from the bottom of the lake, and he just grabs Jason's mask and drags it down to hell, setting up a film that will come out 10 years. At least it will take 10 years for it to come out. This film, I do agree with this little tagline. This is the most incredible ending we've ever seen. Ending the film, not the film itself. So I'm giving this film a 6 out of 10. It's a really low point for the series. So it kind of does make it up with the next film. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's rated R. Next film, The Last Time Kane Hodder Puts on the Mask. Jason X. Coming out in 2002. And he has the most interesting deaths. Oh yeah, an interesting thing. Jason is in space. Not only in space, he's in the future and he's in space. He's in the 23rd century. And he got there by being chronologically frozen with this woman who's on his machete. Yeah, he does get a new machete in the film, even though he doesn't. And also, for some reason, he tried to do an autopsy on his own machete. It's weird. And apparently the best kill was actually the first kill of the entire film. I won't spoil exactly how the kill. I was like stabbing, chopping limbs off. As a matter of fact, he kills a whole team of mercenaries in a matter of a few minutes. And this one guy who's like this soldier, he's like, yeah, you think a poke of ribs goes at me? And he's like, yeah, I think that'll do. And then he shows up again, and apparently he's still wounded. Somehow he survived being stabbed with 2 pipes. I'm like, what? Yeah, very cartoonish. Probably the most interesting thing to see in the film is Uber Jason. Now, people don't like Uber Jason. Heck, there was even a comic called Jason versus Jason X, where he fought Uber Jason. Yeah, and there's also a novel which after the film, which had this person like time travel back in time, kill the entire crew, and take Voorhees along. Yeah, it's odd, but this film is very interesting to watch, and it's the last. It's the second to last film that it's the last film New Line Cinema released. Yeah, because the next film gets released within two, but it's not a standalone Jason film. So I give this film an 8.5 out of 10. Very interesting movie. He kills all but about 3 characters. And this is actually the only film that has the most survivors. Because normally they have like 1 or 2, maybe 3 at most. This one has 4. 4 survivors. A robot, the scientists who imprison them, and this one-air guy. And that's it. They're the only survivors. Like 3 or 4 people survived this film. Oh yeah, and what happens to Earth is very interesting. Yeah, it's explained in the novel exactly how they got to space, the novelization of this film. But yeah, it released in 2002, in case you're wondering. Alright, that's it. Stay tuned for the next episode, which will be episode number 19. Okay, see you there. Bye.